am coming on for my Insta Live with Sarah Barron. I'm trying a different part of my house because we're having internet problems sometimes. And I'm just going to have a look and see if she's here. If I can add her to this chatteroony. Come on, Sarah, just waiting for you. So, I have made the absolute terrible way of not showering and then just putting makeup on top of a dirty, unwashed body. Hi!
Hi, what were you just saying?
Just saying that I didn't even shower and then I just put makeup on for this
Yeah,
on
but
top
them
of.
pearls are doing a lot of work for you, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm also handheld today, you.
I'm handheld as well. What just happened?
That was a great filter.
I don't know what that was. I put on the smiley face thing so that I'm a little in our I mean, I don't know what this is. Oh, I genuinely didn't know what I was doing. Hold on, I have to make it stop. I have to make it stop.
I know.
What is this? No, I'll have to stop all my filters. I didn't know how,
Yeah, that's great. Let's find you a good filter. You got 2 minutes.
Jeez Louise. What's just a normal one? No filter. Maybe I'll just go no filter. What one are you using?
I'm using something, I don't know what it's called, but I downloaded it off the plus filters bit.
Oh,
But
well,
that's like
I'm just gonna go natural because I think all the ones that are available are like this kind of stuff, which is too much.
But try another one. Just like we've got 2 minutes before we start.
All
Some
right.
people just call me Paulina. Oh, that's great. That's cool.
My features are so weird. I hate them. No.
Yeah,
No, I mean, there's
I mean that
everything's
one.
so. Oh, see, no, there are these ones. No, it's
That
too
was great
crazy.
until it went into
This
triangles.
is the thing, is that some of the things are. Anyway, this is so boring. There we go. I'm just gonna kick it, and this is, if we were in a bar.
Let's just love ourselves.
Yeah, I want to try. So
We've got 1 minute until we have to start, so you can like say something before. I mean, is this really worth? I mean, if it's not worth hearing, say it now.
no, I mean, I think it is. I mean, I don't want to flatter myself, but I had an experience. This is what I'll say is a teaser for the people who are early. I had an experience. It's not quarantine related, or maybe it is, and I haven't realized it. But it was it's never happened to me before. It is sexual in nature. It's
Okay.
not that graphic. And I'm curious to know if it's ever happened to you. And now it's happening.
Okay.
Are you ready for my question?
I'm ready for it. It's 8:30. Let's kick this shit
Let's
off.
kick this shit off. So, hello, you're Paloma Faith. I'm Sara Barron. We're the deciders.
I'm not singing in this. This is all about anybody who's new joining. Every Wednesday at 8:30, Sarah and I discuss whatever turmoil you're in your relationship in lockdown, and we try and answer a few questions that people have written and predicaments they're in. And
That's
we try
exactly what
and
we
sort
do.
of save marriages with the potential of ruining marriages.
With
We
the
are
potential of ruining them. And I think helping people understand that maybe they're in a bad relation and maybe they should leave. Like if we can't save it, maybe we can help them ruin it, as you said, efficiently.
Yeah.
Oh, and also we want to tell people up the front that if you're watching with your mom or if you're a younger fan of Paloma's, this is R to X rated. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that anybody under the age of sort of 17
Yeah, I think that
listen
sounds
to
right.
this.
I think that sounds right. So here's what happened to me this week. This has never happened to me before. So I had a sex dream, which I've obviously had.
Yeah.
But it wasn't with someone. I didn't have it about someone that I've ever had a conscious awareness that I was attracted to.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Oh, it's never, most of my
But was it
sex,
hot?
yeah, it was. In fact, the thought that I remember, it happened in my kitchen. It was a comedian that I know a little bit. And the only sort of flicker of anything was that we gigged together once, and I was wearing a jumper that had a deep V in the back. And we went in for a hug, and I felt his hand on my bare back. And he went, "Oh, I wasn't expecting bare back." And I said something about that. And I thought there was something slightly erotic about the moment. But that was all. I've never thought about him that way. And that was like a year and a half ago. Anyway, we were in my kitchen, and I had the thought, this is exceptionally good penetrative sex. So that was my story. That was my big thing.
The reality is if you did it in real life, it would probably be not very good penetrative.
Oh, no, that's the thing. He's not a sexual dude. But then I had this moment.
I feel
And
you.
I did tell my husband about it, because the way I prepped it, I woke up and I felt like I cheated on my husband. It was that vivid. And then we were talking. I was like, I have a question. Have you ever had a sex dream about someone that you have no conscious attraction to? And he went, I'm sure I have done. Why? Did you? I said, yes, I did. And told him who it was about. That's all. You have anything from this week to tell me about?
I'm struggling a bit this week. I feel like tensions are high because I know quite a lot of people who are quite close to me who've got the virus, or whose close relatives have passed away from the virus. And that, like, I feel like maybe I'm more gnarly because of it. I'm a bit irritable.
Right, understandably.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've been very nice.
Does your partner is he giving you anything in the way of a pass?
Well, he just said to me just now, I love you so much, Paloma. And I was like, why?
You are so raw. You're so.
That's why we're doing this.
I know. You can let it out. I would never be able to say that to my husband. I would just be able to go, I love you too. And he would be like, you don't mean it. And I'd be like, of course, I'm sorry. Of course I mean it. I'm just exhausted right now. Whereas you say the thing you really mean.
No, but he gets it. Like, I'm not like, why I don't love you. I'm like,
Right.
why? And he said, why did you say why? And I said, because I'm not very nice this week. And he said, but I still love you. And I think you're doing your best, trying to like be nice to people and blah, blah, blah. You know, all of that stuff.
Right.
And yeah, it's a bit heavy. I just am a bit like irritable. Everything's just annoying me. Like yesterday night, I said, "Can you help me with filming this thing?" Because I was asked to like read a story for children for like an online thing to do with families that have been affected by the virus. And he was like, "Are we going to do it now, or are we going to do it in 5 minutes?" And I was just like, do you know what? Just absolutely just fucking forget about it. And then I like went and sort of angrily read this children's story. No, I didn't angrily read the children's story. I sort of like propped my phone against 10 million objects because I don't have a tripod.
Oh,
you know what it's
man.
like, a book and then a thing, and then it falls down halfway through the story, and you're like, this is because my asshole partner never helped me film the fucking thing.
And then you had to, oh man. So you wound up just doing it on your own then?
I always do everything by myself because that's my defense mechanism, and then I just go on about how I did it all myself. Like, I'll always do it by myself anyway. I'll just do it on my own. That's me.
Yeah,
I do everything on my own.
That's, I mean, attractive. It's an attractive trait that I envy to some extent. Should we do our questions?
Yeah. Let's do one.
All right. So this we've got 10. We're going to try and get through 10 if we can in our remaining 24 minutes.
Yeah.
We've got everything. We've got cooking related questions, dog related, oral sex related, and enabling behavior. So we'll rifle through. Okay. So spend as much or as little time on these as feels appropriate to you rhythmically. What do you do What would you do if your partner refused to exercise?
Oh, my partner does refuse to exercise.
How do you handle that?
Um, I just say it over and over again, like a headache. Like, I really think you should, babes. I'm really worried. You know, people I've read
Yeah,
are,
I've read.
I've read somewhere, which is obviously
Of course.
that people are surviving the virus are the ones who work out.
Like, you'll get a mild version.
I don't know if that's true or not. I couldn't tell you. So I do a lot of that, and actually it's sort of working because he did work out yesterday.
Oh, what did just in your basement? In
Yeah.
your cellar? Nice. Did you find him more attractive because of that?
No, but I do feel like better about him exercising for health reasons.
Right. Well, I will
Yeah.
say my grandmother has never exercised a day in her life and she's 99. I'll just throw that out there. Anyway. Okay.
Can
Neither my husband nor I are washing as often as usual. Can this give us permission to forego oral sex?
I think the fact that you are even considering giving your husband oral sex is an achievement in itself.
Great. Out of business at this stage?
I mean, it depends how long they've been married.
Right.
But
Well,
do you ever see that Louis C.K. sketch where he talks about how the only time he ever gets head is when his wife wants another baby?
Oh, I've seen a bit he does called Louis K. R.I.P. basically, but the saddest hand job in America.
No, this one was when he was like, "Oh, my wife goes down on me," and then she just jumps up and sits on it because she wants to conceive a child.
Oh God, no, I've not seen that. It's very good.
But so yeah, I mean, I do think it gives you permission to forego oral sex on the days you're not washing. But I really think that if you are able to keep it going as long as possible, I think that would be good and healthy for your relationship for both of you.
I agree. And I think also it's like whatever it is going on orally, it just has to be, everyone has to be on the same page.
Yeah, you can't give and not receive.
You can't give and not receive. And either you're kind of on the same page that it needs to happen a lot, or you're on the same page that it's just not part of your repertoire, and both couples are with that.
Yeah, but I don't think you should rule anything out with the sex life completely because I just think that's dangerous anyway. Because if you keep ruling things out as the relationship goes on over years, you're talking about life together if you're married.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, divorce is an option, but if you're, it's always there. But like, yeah, if you keep saying, let's not do this ever, let's not do this ever, you're going to end up with just like missionary and you'll both be bored.
If I feel that I'm willing to be a giving lady, I will say to my husband, you should make sure and take a bath today. But then what happens is if he takes a bath and I don't, I feel like then it makes the bath this very weird associative. Like there was a time he took a bath and I was like, you should bathe today because it had been like hot or something. And then, I'm very worried about speaking about my husband because he was watching us last week and he felt that he was unfairly presented as a chauvinist. So now, which I'm not sure whether or not that happened. It may have done. I don't think he actually is.
It did, because if he was, I would probably back him up.
Wait, if he was a chauvinist, you wouldn't back him up?
No, I would, because I know him quite well. So if I felt that he was, because he isn't a chauvinist, if I felt that he was being portrayed as one, I'd probably say, no.
Oh, okay. That's a really good point. I hadn't even really thought of that. But as I'm telling this anecdote now, that it feels like at its heart is me going, and then my husband insisted that I give him a blowjob, and I had to say yes. I was like, oh God, he'd lose his mind if he was watching this. It doesn't make, of course, it doesn't make me. But the point is that
But you could just like have a bath together. You could say, let's have a bath together.
I could, and we actually have a thing in our marriage called the bath of truth, which was something that we started doing when we got together. Like we'd take a bath together, and because there's not all the usual distractions, we would wind up having much more in-depth conversations
We
than we
did that
normally.
too.
So we call it the bath of truth. So we'll have, but now that we've been together long enough, we put on a podcast or something like that. But anyway, what's your, give me a deciding, we got to decide this. What's your deciding answer for this woman who wants to know if she can be doing less in the BJ department?
I think if you want to forego oral sex, you should. It sounds like you don't really want to do it anyway, so don't force yourself. Well, force yourself every so often. But
Yeah, I would say have a number in your head per month. You don't like that? Too obligatory for you?
I feel like everyone's got their skills, and if you're not enjoying it, they can tell. Feel like, and if like if you know what I mean, like, and so
Yeah.
don't bother.
Yeah, yeah. Just laughing at the idea of like a woman really clearly
Go.
not in it. My God. I once tried to initiate sex because I felt like it had been a while and I really felt I was supposed to, but I couldn't have been less in the mood. And it was clearly not going to happen. And then my husband the next day made fun of my vagina by going, oil can, oil can. I was like, because in the next morning I was like, oh, last night got grim, right? And he was like, oil can, because I was
like it was so bad, it was squeaking.
Like it was so, like my vagine was so uninterested in the intercourse. It was like, oil can. And I don't consider that to normally be one of the
question.
Yeah. Do
you want me to do mine?
Yeah, because I don't like. We had this one about sleep training in quarantine. Someone asked if you can sleep train in quarantine.
Sleep training in quarantine, yes, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing that for the 120 billionth time. So
fine, yeah, you can. You probably can't hire a sleep trainer, but you could.
I wonder if our children will still wake up in the night, age 25, and come into our rooms, because I feel like I've sleep trained mine about 700 times. Anyway.
Wait, can I just ask you? Wait, can I ask you one thing? Do you not feel that this angle is really my ideal angle right now? Do you feel I need to stay in this pose?
Greenish hue makes you.
I look a little cuter now. Okay, so you're gonna read your question.
Here's a question for you, Sarah.
Okay.
My husband and I have been together in total 7 years. He loves to cook, and the secret that I've kept for 7 years is that he's not very good at it. It's never been much of an issue as he works a lot, but now he has the time and is cooking pretty much every night. And he genuinely thinks he's making me these gourmet meals and they're gross.
Oh, God.
I'm choking them down and it can't continue. But he's so impressed with himself. What do I do?
Oh, that's brutal.
That's hard. 7 years as well they've been together.
I mean, here's what I would say. I think because this wasn't a problem pre-quarantine, I think some part of her needs to grin and bear it and know that it will probably go back to normal when their schedule normally doesn't have the time. I think
this might end up going on till like 2021.
I don't think you should say that to her. I think that's going to overwhelm her. I think right now to get through this, she needs to tell herself that it will end when quarantine. That's the first thing. She needs to go to her happy place in her mind and go, this will be done when quarantine is done. And then if it isn't, then deal with that as and when. And then I think she needs to introduce the idea of weekend takeaways. Like it's like a fun way of making a weekend feel like a weekend. Be like, sweetie, can we do like Nando's on a Friday and on a Saturday, just to help things feel festive? And then
no, but I'm just reading the comments. Yeah. Somebody just had a really good suggestion, and that was, why don't you suggest that you cook together and like suggest little recipes and stuff, and like make it a thing you do together and that you both love doing together, and then the food might taste better because you're in control of it from the start.
Yeah. I mean, and
then he might get a taste for the great things you cook together and then learn from the experience.
I think these 3 things together create the answer. Yes, she's going to do that. She's going to suggest weekend takeaways, and she's going to try and keep her eye on the prizes of it being over. Can I tell you a question that I saw come in before we even got into this?
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know, Paloma, if you've ever been with a woman and what was it like?
I was with a woman once, but only from the waist up.
Sure.
And it was when I couldn't make my rent, and an artist asked me if I'd be in like an art film doing
Oh,
for lesbian stuff with a woman. And the woman that I did it with was really, really attractive, like awe-inspiringly gorgeous.
did it feel
And I felt like, yes, it was hot.
was her beauty sexy to you, or just more like, oh my God, that's such a pretty woman?
Both.
Great detail.
And I got £250 for it, which was what I needed to cover my rent. I was going to get evicted at the time.
Totally. I've been talking with my friend recently about the fact that so she has daughters, I have a son, and we've all watched Tiger King. Have you seen Tiger King?
Yes, I love Tiger King.
Amazing, right? So we were watching it, and she was saying, if my daughters grew up to be sex workers, I would find that immeasurably more comfortable than if they grew up and were like into big cats. Like being into wild animals at home is so much more insane than doing anything in the way of sex. I agreed. It's a really good point, isn't it? All right. I will ask you one now. So to that, I just was going to call them a caller, but they're not a caller. They're a writer in her on Instagram. She got her answer. I hope it's acceptable. We decided. You're not into our arm move this week, are you?
Better.
Do you know what else I've been thinking, Paloma? I think at the beginning, a thing that we should say is we should set out to people that if they're going to listen to us for the full half hour, they should be doing another activity. Like, don't you think it would be fun to listen to if you were like cooking?
This would be great while cooking.
Be great while cooking. We'll put that in the intro next week.
People are saying, can we shout out Carol Baskin? Personally, I'm not. I think she's the worst one in the program.
Well, someone just wrote in. Everyone's saying right now in the comments that Carol Baskin is a murderer, and yes, totally. Oh, also, I have this friend. Her name is Tessa Coates. She's a character comedian, and she on her Twitter, I'll send it to you. She did this. It's like a 10-second spoof of Carol Baskin. It's hilarious. Anyway, okay. Here's our next question. Okay. I have had 3 online drink sessions with friends this week, which means my husband has had the living room and TV to himself, and he has enjoyed being able to watch his TV. However, he has no interest in doing online drinks with his friends, which means I never get to watch my TV and have the sofa to myself. How can I fix this?
Has this person not got a laptop?
Well, I don't know, but let's assume, I'm sure they do have a laptop.
Or maybe
but
they
is
don't.
the point about like that she can't find the space? Like she doesn't have the time in the evening to do it because he's never socializing. So in other words, he's never busy at night. She sort of needs him to be.
I know what that feels like, both in quarantine and out of quarantine.
Yeah, because your husband is not a sociable guy.
No. I would say, I don't know what the solution is though. I feel like, I don't know, like, can they just have the conversation? Like, look, can't you just say, like, can we watch something I want to watch? Because you watch whatever you want on the nights when I'm out enjoying myself. Or does that sound unreasonable?
No, I think if someone else sort of just suggested that like basically she picks, say, a minimum of 1 night, probably 2, where she says, I will excuse myself and go upstairs and watch these TV shows that I do.
Yeah. I think
Right?
2 nights a week she should choose.
But it's not just about her, it's that she doesn't want to watch them with her husband, I don't think.
Oh, she wants to watch them completely by herself.
I think it's stuff that she's into and he has no interest in.
That's hard.
I know. but I think she's got to take a couple nights. So it's like she's got 2 nights of Friends, 2 nights of her own TV, and 3 nights with her husband on the sofa.
That sounds sorted. Let's move
Great. Good job, us. Oh,
on. Let
P.S.
me
I
ask
want
you a question. Oh.
Okay, I'm ready. You go.
I've lost my sense of smell because of coronavirus, probably.
Oh.
I'm otherwise asymptomatic. My wife now thinks it's funny to fart within earshot, and her whole thing is, what's the problem if you can't smell it? Well, my problem is that I find the noise almost more offensive.
Sure.
Who's right?
I think the husband is right. I mean, I'm big into public farting. I find it funny. I believe a feminist angel gets her wings every time women fart. I'm into it. But I agree with this. I think the noise of a fart is deeply non-sexual. And I'm not saying it's as bad, but they need to understand it's still a pretty gross, non-sexy move that's being made in the house when it happens. So I'm on his side. Decided.
You actually think that she should ask him to leave the room to fart?
No. Great follow-up
Oh, no, it's the other way round.
No. I love, that's a really good note.
You think he should ask her to leave the room to fart?
Here's my only point. This is what I want to be taken from this. It's not about farting or not farting. It's understanding that if you're doing very aggressive farting, even if the person can't smell it, it's still a grotesque action based on the noise alone.
But also, I just want to add that it's not really, if you decide to be with someone in sickness and in health, then it's not worth them getting a stomachache because they're holding their farts in around you.
I agree with you.
I guess his issue is that she thinks it's really funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's always a win with
fart and not laugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, okay, here's another one. My girlfriend says I type too loud. Is that a thing?
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's a thing. I think she probably should have kept that to herself because I don't think you can do anything about it. But I can see, even with that little act out you just did, I can see someone doing a thing. Bad news bears.
And obviously they're like in close proximity to each other and everything's irritating.
Yeah. So I think, yes, it's a thing. Yes, you're in the right, but you have to sit on it and hold it and not say it again.
Or like also when people, here's another addition to it. This is my irritating thing that I'm like, excuse me, can you turn the sound off, please? As when they have the sound on a text.
Beep, beep. A thing very early on that my husband said to me, like we'd been together a few months, and he was like, oh, one of my pet peeves is anyone asking me to turn my music down. And I'm not proud of it, but I hate it when someone asks me to turn my music down. And I remember at the time, a few months in being like, oh, well, that's totally reasonable. And I'll just make sure to never do that to him. And so I never do it. But sometimes he has the music on and I feel he has set up this dynamic where I feel that I can't go, honey, could I just ask that you turn it down a little bit? And one of my 2020 projects is to feel that that it is a reasonable thing in the context of my own home to go, could I ask you to turn this down a bit just while I'm down here as well? And I'm telling you, he's going to get angry with me. Again, he's going to be pissed off thinking I make him sound like a chauvinist. He's not. Obviously, he's not. He's just difficult.
It is difficult. This whole situation is difficult. When you marry someone, you don't think, I'm going to be with you all day, every day. You think you're a bit of my pie that is my life. Can I just say that there's somebody on here, and I'm not even going to draw too much attention to the word thing, but the racist that's coming on here, can you please get the F off, please? Because I cannot abide it on any level. Moving on.
Hadn't even noticed. We will move on.
I hate dogs. My girlfriend loves them. Who's right?
The one who loves them.
Yeah, my mum once said to me, never trust a man who hates dogs.
I think ambivalence is fine. I think hatred is strange. Okay, should we get one more in before we go?
Yeah.
My partner is in, oh, this is interesting. Okay. My partner is in AA. I always go out for drinks with friends if I drink. Now we are locked down. I feel I need a drink, but don't want to trigger my partner. What should I do?
Well, that's obvious. You've got to do a Margot Tenenbaum.
Wait, what's a Margot Tenenbaum?
You know, in the Royal Tenenbaums where she locks the door and she keeps smoking in the bar.
Yes.
Bar. You do candles. You say, I'm having a bit of me time. Lock the door. That's assuming you do have a bath. I hope you do. And then you like have your candles, you lay in the bath and you have your glass of wine, chillax, listen to a podcast, rewatch this. And then
that was great. This is a great answer.
Yeah, and then you just come out and you sort of rinse it, the glass in the sink, and it was a water.
Perfect.
But the alcohol smell might be on this person's breath. So maybe you need to sort of tell them you're doing that. But I don't think it is triggering. It depends how long they've been in AA. But I know very many people in AA and some relatives. And I have to say that the work is so extensive that unless they've only been in AA for like 6 months, they're probably not going to be triggered by you having one drink.
No, although if what the person is sort of used to in their life is no booze in the house, it would be a weird shift. But I think because then she's got to hide a bottle of booze, or he's got to hide a bottle of booze in the house, right?
Well, like your partner doesn't drink, and you do.
No, but Jeff he's like 20 years sober now, and his thing has always been that I mean, I don't know if this is real or not, but what he's always said is that people not drinking because of him makes him immeasurably more uncomfortable than someone having a glass of wine around him.
Yeah.
So I've always sort of taken that at face value, and I've never been I love a drink, but I never have more than a couple of drinks in a night, or 3 would be me going wild.
Yeah, and you probably wouldn't want to do that as well if you're the only one drinking. Like you'd have 1 or 2.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, I thought you really nailed it.
Thank you. So
you decided.
And we'll be deciding more things for you next Wednesday at 8:30, like clockwork. Send in any issues that you're having with your partner. I'm having some incredibly big issues with the racist that was writing comments on our things, and I'm looking forward to getting off here and blocking you forever.
Great. I didn't see it. See you next week at 8:30. Bye.
Bye.